take a look at the Euro USD for the upcoming September the 1st session. And you can see here on the weekly chart again, just constant grind, consolidation up. Remember, last week was really the last week of August. This week we're kind of trapped in a late Labor Day USA holiday weekend. And so next Monday is Labor Day holiday here in the US, and there's a lot of people that take off during this week. Not to mention that this week is also non-farm payroll here in the US, ADP non-farm payroll, and some other major news announcements. So again, because of that, we're taking a look at a weekly chart, and you can see there's just tons of up and down price action, up and down. And as we've discussed before, that means we need to go down to our lower time frame charts to go ahead and see if we can get a clearer picture. And what the daily chart does tell us here on the Euro USD is that the range is very, very, very tight, very tight. We do have a nice channel that's developed here on the daily chart, as you can see, going across the upper range right here, and we're going to go across the lower range right here. And we're going to keep these lines on the charts until we really break out of them. But for the daily chart, that's pretty much all there is. You can see with the MACD, there's pretty much no trend going on here, even though we can see this is slightly grinding to the upside. The 4-hour chart, we're just going to check out very quickly to see, yes, it's just up and down. We've had some quick explosions, but just up and down, up and down, up and down. The MACD, again, is headed towards a neutral position. It's not really giving us any information other than what we saw on the daily. It's slightly bullish. So let's see if down here on the 4-hour or 1-hour chart, if we're beginning to see anything. And again, right up near this channel that we saw, this is a smaller channel than that bigger one we looked at on the weekly chart. And there's just not a lot going on in here. You know, we've come up to these highs, a lot of this resistance up in this area. You can see that was previously in prices held there. And there's no really good price patterns. There's not a head and shoulders. There's not a 1, 2, 3 top developing as far as looking to go to the upside. Now, a couple people have emailed and asked me, do I see a crazy head and shoulders developed in here? And I'm going to get some of these notes away from where we were talking about last week. And I'm going to say, yes, there's a head and shoulders that's actually developing. And we're in the process of the right shoulder right now. And we're going to show this different than the 1, 2, 3 pattern and the head and shoulders or possible inverted head and shoulders we saw last week. Here we're going to take a look at this portion. Sorry, I have to spit that out. Being the left shoulder, this being the head, and then this being the development of a right shoulder. So this line right here is going to be really, really important if price comes back, because if it breaks, then we can get a nice run. Also, the head. We're going to look at this as a broad-topped head, and we're going to include all of this as the head, and this is the high of the head. So we're going to watch on the lower time frames again over the next couple days. If we get a break and close above this, again, it invalidates the head and shoulders, and we'd be looking to go long. And longer term, again, if we come down here to this particular area where the neckline is, we could be looking for something to break here and go down. But in the interim, we have something really nice setting up. You can see MACD's on the waterline right here. No trend. And with this right shoulder, you're going to take a look at the 30-minute, and you can see it's just kind of going sideways. So the indicators overall are not being very helpful. Again, that's usually due to anemic price action. But trend lines are just wonderful. And you can see that if we get in on a break or a close, now this is pretty much the Asian session. We're coming into the September 1st session for the Asian market. We're going to look for this to break and close here on a 30-minute chart and see if we're going to continue on down to this neckline. Also, as we're coming into the London markets and the overall markets, these are the two key levels we're going to watch. Really, I should say 3. Number 1 is a close above this level here during the Asian market or during the London market. A close above here on a 30-minute chart, we'd be looking to go to the long side. And the 2 levels for a sell we'd be looking for is a break or a close below this trend line on the 30-minute and or a break below this point here on a 30-minute and close, because that could be giving us a 1, 2, 3 top or maybe even earlier a trend line break. But there's a lot of things telling us on those higher time frames that the trend is neutral. We have a nice trend line coming through this area right here. And another reason why we'd like to see a close above this high on a 30-minute chart is because we do have this trend line up here, this longer term one, and a close above this level here, these highs, on a 30-minute chart, remember you need to close above those levels, would be a break of this trend line, and then a real good chance we're going to go long because this was a resistance trend line that was developing in here. Likewise, if you want to look at it, we looked at the head and shoulders. This could be an inverted head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. So we kind of have competing back-to-back head and shoulders, and the market's going to have to let us know which way it looks to break. The nice thing about these two patterns is we have some nice trend lines. So again, the indicators are going to probably be a little messy this week as they were last week because of the lack of price action, the lack of volume, lack of traders in the market due to holidays, etc. And this week there's a lot of major news coming out as well as short looking to go into a long weekend major markets for next week. So please keep that in mind. So these trend lines, the one really the buy zone that we're looking for up here, the two possible sells, that's what we're going to keep keeping an eye for on the Euro USD for the upcoming September 1st session.